That's like for tornadoes.
Welcome back to another record-breaking edition of Sports Talk is McKinney, and this is going to be a segment that is going to blow the roof off of all of our other episodes we've ever done. We're talking about the tornado episode that got the FCC calling us. It's getting blown away because we have three special guests this week. The one and only Cotter Cobra basketball team, and I'm talking about three of the Cobras. The one and only Taran, the Big Smooth Eaton, the one and only Austin B.A. McBee, and last but certainly not least, the one and only Judo Wiggins, here on Sports Talk is McKinney to talk a little basketball.
You know, Judah's a man.
Among boys.
Taran, you can only hope to contain Aaron. You can't stop him.
Yeah, you can't stop Taran. You can only hope to contain him. And the one and only B.A.
Cooler than the other side of the pillow.
That's what I'm talking about. But this is, we're going a little blast from the past today. Of course, this time last year was the start of the final Cotter Cobra season. We were playing our first tournament a year ago today. And now the Cobras, unfortunately, are no more. But we got great memories.
They're defunct.
Yeah, they're defunct, unfortunately, because these boys now are going to be going over to Arkansas Tech and starting their college career in just a month or two.
Just a new chapter in their lives, and as we look back from there, we've got a question that we want each of you boys to answer, and the answers might be the same, perhaps different, but look at it from. I want first to start with an individual view, not a team view or anything. Just an individual view. In your entire basketball careers, I know you guys have been playing since you were 10 years old in organized basketball. Let's start with you, Austin. As an individual basketball player, whether it was for the Cotter Warriors, the Cotter Cobras, or the Harrison...
The Arkansas Nets?
Yes. What is the individual play that stands out most to you?
Ooh, man, that's a tough one.
There are so many, I know.
There are so many things to look back on. I'd have to say when we were on the Cobras, got to play, and it was my... when I looked at the box score at the end of the game, I had a triple-double, some of the first triple-doubles. I can't remember who we were playing. I want to say it was either Flippin' or one of the Oklahoma teams we played against, and we were up in Branson. But looking back on that, I think that was one of the most memorable things I had, was getting a triple-double. It's kind of weird to see from a big guy usually getting it, but that's probably one of the most memorable things I remember individually.
Well, I can tell you one of my favorites from you was in Harrison when you got the rebound, took it all the way for the layup from one end of the floor to the other. Judah, what about you?
Judo! Chop!
Well, I kind of suck at basketball, so it would probably have to be when in high school, playing 9th grade year, playing basketball for Coach Wheeler. It was over at a away game in Pangburn, and I was in the middle of the paint, ready to go up strong against this big guy, and I shot over the basket. The whole goal. I shot over it. And yeah, everybody made fun of me. That still goes on. Yeah. Never shot over the goal ever again.
And that's the moment that you...
It's ingrained into my memory. I'll never forget that. It was awful.
Actually, I got to throw in a Judah memory. I actually got Judah and Austin one real quick before we get to the big smooth. Judah, I always remember the 6th grade game. We were playing against Flippin' in a fundraiser. Judah made a sweet steal, taking it in, wide open layup, and it was the most powerful layup I've ever seen in my life. And then the BA, I just remember actually the big smooth getting one over on BA when he had a chance for a triple-double. We had about 4 minutes left in the game. I think Austin was 1 point away from the triple-double. Taran, we're talking on the bench and stuff, and Austin comes over, what's my points? Taran knew what his points was, but he said, oh, you've already got your points, you just need to get your passes, when really Austin had 9 points and needed 1 more point. And Taran actually made sure he didn't get a triple-double that game messing with him. So good times on the bench with the Cobras.
He really screwed me over on that one.
All right, Taran, what about you? Individual accomplishment, achievement, memory, whatever.
My favorite moment with the Cobras was when we won the tournament in Harrison. But my favorite individual moment was probably in team camp this summer when Matthew Gordon threw me a lob and put it down with a dunk.
And I heard about that that day. That news traveled throughout Arkansas.
That video went viral. It was everywhere. The Big Smooth, he was all over the internet. The internet almost busted that day. One of the most incredible dunks of all time.
And, and we talked about this earlier before the segment, but my favorite, and it really was my favorite, was the practice when you dunked on Elijah Griggs. Because he did not expect it, and you went up and you put it in his face, and he laid there. I thought I was going to just die laughing. And I think you did too, as you were trotting back down the court.
Well, Mike, I'm going to turn it over to you real quick. What is your favorite memory coaching these boys and the Cotter Cobras over the years?
Oh, gosh, Dave, there's so many. But, when I go back to time, obviously it's going to be winning the championship. They're telling Austin to put the ball on his hip at half court, and he's looking at me like, what? I put it on your hip. Put it on your hip. We're running out the clock. I enjoy that memory. But one of the memories that really sticks with me is that Oklahoma game that we ended up losing. Coming back from that all-star team from Oklahoma, I was really proud after that game.
Well, we earned some mad props, and I'd say probably, do we have enough time? I know our producer's kind of signaling us right now. But before we go to a break, if I can get him to just hold for just a second, I'm going to share a quick memory, and then we'll go to break real quick. But I would have to say my favorite memory of the Cotter Cobras would actually, there's probably two of them. Number one, when they won their very first game in 6th grade when we were at Mountain Home playing. Of course, the Warrior team had lost, every game in 5th and 6th grade. We came out, we had lost the very first game of that tournament by a freak play right at the end of the game. We came back the next day and actually won, and, seeing them finally get that win, everyone running on the court, finally getting that victory.
It's like we won the NCAA tournament.
Oh, yeah. It was like we won the championship. But then actually winning the championship, being the only school team in the history of the Harrison McBee tournament to defeat 5 all-star teams. And we're talking about teams that included a lot of people who ended up going to state this year and a lot of group teams that actually ended up becoming state-level high school basketball teams. We was a class way above them, and, I know the Big Smooth Taran Eaton just dominated inside. Judah Wiggins was just crashing the board. You could not contain him. He was just so powerful that day, and the BA got to play a little point. He was like Magic Johnson all over the court, and seeing them win that championship, that was something that we'll never forget.
Yeah, Dave, and on top of that, it's just the good times that we had, whether it was going to the go-kart track or whether it was, just going shopping in Branson or the trips down and back and forth to the sites. The trip to Poplar Bluff, all that stuff was so much fun, and just every win and every loss. I don't even really, I think about the tournament and winning that, but it was just the experience of being with, these 3 young men right here and the rest of their teammates. What an honor it was for you and I to have been a part of Cobra basketball. But, of course, that's not all that these guys have accomplished in their career. And when we come back, I want to get a feeling from each of them about what was their greatest team accomplishment now that we've heard their individual accomplishments. So we'll be back.
We'll be back with the Key, the Big Smooth, the one and only Judo Chop, and Austin B.A. McBee when we come back here on Sports Talk is McKinney.